Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative and don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum. Bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate this last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looks so dark? Man, they said we better accentuate the positive. Eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative and don't mess with Mr. In Between. Nah, don't mess with Mr. In Between. Too much fun. Love that tune. What's that fellow's name? Who wrote that? I had it written here. Who was that? Who is that lyricist? Really, Arden, I think is. Oh, I've forgotten his name. It's terrible. Hi, everyone. Hi, Elaine. I know, Elaine, you're always there. Rain or shine. Hi, everyone. Hi, hearts. Hi. Tracy from Indiana. Shelly from California. Knoxville. Another Shelly from Knoxville. Ada from, we don't know where Ada's from. Tammy. Hi, Tammy. Amanda, Wanda, Joan, O'Keefe. Hi, Joan. Nice to see everyone. It's great to see all of you. So, hi, folks. What is it?
Harold Arlen.
Arlen is his name. Harold Arlen. So, hi, folks. I'm Joette Calabrese. For those of you who don't know me, and for those who do, hi again. We do this every Monday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And this is here for you to learn how to cure your family and yourselves and those around you. And also for me to tell you about my classes should you decide to go further with this information and learn more. But I believe that these Monday night meetings, these Facebook Lives, my blog every Sunday night, and my podcasts that are sometimes midweek. We don't do them absolutely I think we do them twice a month pretty much. They're a course in themselves. Just listen to them, just read them, just make yourself familiar with this. I've been doing this for so long. This is a course. But should you be interested, I'm presenting another course. I talked about it last week. It's called Make It Stop, Escape from the Prison of Chronic and Acute Pain. Using practical homeopathy, learn effective methods to uproot pain, often for good. And so if you decide to go to my site where it says Joette, how does it read, Perry? Joette Calabrese.pain. I think that's what it's called, Joette. He's going to tell me in a minute because there's a little lag time.
Tomorrow night, quick Q&A.
Oh, tomorrow night, that's right. Tomorrow night we have our question and answer that's free. You can join in tomorrow night. Pain.Joette Calabrese. What comes first? Me the pain or the pain? Pain.Joette Calabrese. And then you can also download my Lola here with some protocols. I don't give the exact protocols because it kind of, I want you to know that it's possible. Some of you will already know the protocols because you've been studying homeopathy long enough. And some of it you can pretty much figure out on your own. When they're very specific protocols, then I say use exactly the potency and frequency. But when they're not so specific, like using arnica, it's not necessarily something that is that needs to be followed precisely. So tonight, I do want to talk about pain. I want you to learn this, even if you decide never to take my pain course. So I want you to know there are a lot of pain medicines. And if I were to crack open my repertoire and show you, you would see how many remedies can be used for pain. And then we break them down as to what kind of pain or where the pain is located, what organ it is found in, what tissue it's found in, what kind of pain, how long does it last, how long have you had it, what perhaps brought it on. Sometimes we know and it's useful, sometimes we don't know. But we can still approach it from many different angles. So this is a pain medicine. In fact, all of the medicines I'm going to teach you are pain medicines that your doctor knows nothing about. And these pain medicines that I teach, whether they're on the blog or tonight or whenever, are medicines that have no side effects. You will not become addicted to them. Isn't that relevant in today's world? I would say that's pretty important. So there's no fallout. And the cost doesn't need to be covered by your insurance because these homeopathic medicines are, the cap came off, are ridiculously inexpensive. $18, $12, depending on where you purchase them. This happens to be boron. You could buy it on Amazon. You could buy it directly from boron. And if you do buy from boron, I urge you to do that. Buy from boron, B-O-I-R-O-N. And go to, when you check out, put in the little code box, my name, Joette, Joette. That's all you have to put, not even my last name. And you will get a discount. I get no kickbacks. I have no affiliate programs with them. I have asked them that if they're going to do this, that they give you the discount. So I urge you to do that. Buy from Boron, buy from Highlands, buy from Hahnemann. These are pharmacies in the U.S. Buy from Washington Homeopathics. There are others, and I hate when I forget them off the top of my head. These are the manufacturers. They're all good ones. Helios in England, another good pharmacy. Be wary of names that kind of pop up all of a sudden and you haven't heard of them before. So stick with the ones that we know. Doesn't mean you can't ever buy from anyone else, but I urge you to indeed buy from those that we know a lot about, who have a great history. So tonight we're going to talk about a medicine directly from my Materia Medica. Should you be interested, this is what it looks like. You can purchase this on my site. And Materia Medica does not tell you what the name of the condition is and what the medicine is. That is not what this does. Materia Medica is a study of the medicines. So this is how we learn our medicines. This is how we know them. This is how we know if there's going to be a problem when we use them, if it's going to be only good, if it's not acting. Why is it not acting? Well, it depends on what the medicine is designed to do. Design? Well, it's not designed by the industry. It's designed by God, because these materials that these homeopathic medicines are made from are just materials found on Earth. They are not synthetically mimicked. They are not bifurcated, extrapolated. They're not added to. They have no additives. They have no preservatives. They have no adjuncts. They are what they are. If it says that it is colocynthis, which is what we're going to talk about tonight, it is bitter cucumber. It is actually from the plant, just diluted many, many times. That's all it's done. It's diluted many times and succussed, which means that it's done in a very specific scientific pharmacological method, mathematical method. So without going any further, let's talk about this colocynthis. Now, these medicines, I'm about to do I think it's going to be a video of all of the homeopathic medicines in my Materia Medica, and I'm going to just pronounce them. You can go to my website and learn how to pronounce them. And so I'll be doing that soon. I think we're going to be recording it in the next week or so, and then it has to be edited because I'll certainly make enough mistakes that we should edit out some things. And so you can learn how to pronounce these words, but they are Latin, which if any of you have had Latin, it makes it super easy. If you're Italian, it makes it super easy. If you have any Latin language background, even French, but Spanish and Italian, Latin, very closely related to the way these medicines are pronounced. So it's colocynthis, and the way it's spelled, colocynthis, colocynthis. It is an excellent medicine for pain, but a certain kind of pain. Number one, the most important aspect of this medicine is for colic. So who's got colic? Babies. It's a great medicine for colic in babies. And you know how if you've ever had a colicky baby, you'll know what I'm talking about. when you hold them up, they want to put their belly on your shoulder, kind of like they're hanging over to a certain degree. They crawl up almost to want to be pressed. They want the pressure against their belly. Or if they're young enough, they're the babies that like to be held like this in the football hold, where their head is facing downward in your hand. I remember doing it with my first baby, and their bodies across the arm, the forearm here, and the hands are arms are hanging down here, and the legs are hanging down here. And why they like that is because of the weight of their body against the pressure of your arm is what they're looking for. So that gives us our clue. Why this medicine works in such a beautiful way especially when the person wants to exert some pressure there. So if it's a baby who wants pressure against the belly, or you've got a stomach ache and you're pressing like this, there's pressure is exerted. Doesn't mean it cures it. It just means that the pressure is desired. So pressure against the abdomen is a key for the use of this medicine, Colasynthes. What other time might we find that someone would want pressure against the abdomen? Can anyone give me some ideas? Let's see if you can come up with some ideas here, because I know you're going to know this. I know you're going to know it. Oh, yeah. Layton says I had those 2 years of painful Latin in high school would pay off. Hahnemann Laboratories, somebody said, yes, you bet. Love Hahnemann Laboratories. So while I'm waiting for you to answer, what other pain might someone want to exert pressure that helps them, gives them a tiny bit of comfort? And we'll go on, and I'll talk more about that as soon as we get some folks answering. I see some answers coming in. Monthly cramps. You got it, Robin. Absolutely. Tan Chow says menstrual pain. Absolutely. Broken rib. That's a possibility, but that's not what this is for. You might want to hold still with a broken rib. Cramps. You bet. Menstrual pain, says Laura. Cramps, says Martha. Absolutely. Good job. Excellent job. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Good job. So, menstrual cramps. Magfos is a good one, and I talk about that a lot on the blog, maybe twice. I think I've spoken about that on my blog. But Colasynthes is great for menstrual cramps where the young woman is pressing. It's usually young. It's not always, can be older women too, but it's usually young women are holding. I don't know if you can see me so well. I'm pressing down at the abdomen. That is a call for Colasynthes. Colasynthes is, we usually use it in the 30th potency, by the way, for these kinds of conditions, such as colic in the baby. And we would use it frequently. If the baby's really in pain, you want to give that perhaps that Colasynthes 30C or 30X, if that's all you've got, every 15 minutes for the first hour or so. Then open it up. I'll say the baby's starting to come down and the baby's shoulders are relaxing a little bit. And he or she's crying out, but not as extreme, with such extreme pain. And now you can open it up to maybe every hour you give a dose. Now it's still coming down even further, still going on. Keep giving it. Another dose in another hour after that. So every few hours until the pain is gone. Once the pain is gone, what do? Let me see if you know what to do. What do you do when the pain has gone? And meanwhile, while you're coming up with the answers for that, it's colicky pain that's gripping, violent, cramping. This I'm reading right out of my Materia Medica. Clutching, grasping, radiating pain. Yep, that's the kind of pain we're looking for that determines whether or not we can use this medicine, Colasynthes. And it's the kind of pain that comes with, generally speaking, soft tissue. So the uterus, soft or an organ, not generally a bone, not generally skeletal. It's more soft tissue, because soft tissue is where you get gripping, cramping, cutting, clutching, grasping pain. That's where you get that kind of pain. You're not going to get that so much in a headache. It's not generally, although Colasynthes can be used for certain headaches. Let's see if we've got some answers here. Let's see. Wait and evaluate, says Martha. You bet. Stop giving when the medicine acts, we stop. And you wait and you evaluate. Now you watch and you observe. Don't ask too many questions. Just observe. just elegantly, quietly observe. If it's a baby, you're not going to be asking questions, obviously. But if it's someone older, your 13-year-old daughter, just watch. Just be around her, talk to her, pray with her, tell her stories about grandpa and grandma. Meanwhile, you're observing and you're watching. Maybe you bring in some warm milk or something that will comfort her, some bone stock, and you're watching. And if she says, oh, here it comes again, then you look at your watch. Let's see, the last dose was an hour ago. It starts hurting again. We give it again at that moment when the pain returns. And now you're noticing it's about every hour. Now wait another hour, see if you can do it again, if she can hold off for an hour until it's done. Now, what will this do? Let's say this is for menstrual pain. What will this do for dysmenorrhea, which is menstrual pain, in the long run? Will it only deal with this episode of menstrual pain, or could it also have long-reaching effects into subsequent months? Well, I have found time and again that if you find the right medicine for what appears to be an acute right now, that it often softens the next episode. And so when it comes to menstruation, it's going to be, the next month, 28 days later or so, then you watch it. Now, that pain may be somewhat equal, but then you know what to use. You used Colasynthes last month. Now this month you use it again. This time, however, the pain shouldn't be quite as gripping. You should see a little diminish to its intensity. Now, a teenage girl often will not share that with you. She may not say to you, oh, it's better than last time. Again, you're going to have to observe it, because if it was horrible the month before, she was screaming and carrying on and, oh my gosh, this is hell on earth, and this time it's painful, then comparatively. And the way you're going to know this is you're going to keep notes. You're going to write it down. You're going to write down the date that you're giving it the first time, the chief complaint, which is dysmenorrhea. You're going to talk about which day of the period it started. You're going to write down what remedy you used, what potency you used, and how frequently you administered. And at what point did you observe that she was improving? You want that down. Now, you write it in the margin if you've taken any of my study groups, and I can't urge you enough to, at least, if you do nothing else, strongly consider joining one of our study groups. Gateway to Homeopathy. You will gain a community that you had no idea was available to you. You will learn much. Your immersion into a group will force you to learn much faster, and you will be surprised at how much you'll learn in such a short amount of time over those 6 to 8 weeks. So when you do that, when you take this study group, I teach exactly how to lay it out. I'm giving you basically the way it is now. The date, chief complaint, what all of the symptoms that are showing up. And what I mean by that is in the left-hand column, you're going to write down the part of the body. So if it's I would write female. I wouldn't even go to uterus. You don't know that it's the uterus necessarily when the pain first comes on. It could be ovular. It could be ovaries that are painful. Could be colon that's painful. You don't really know. So you're saying maybe perhaps it's female because it's her menses, and you're going to write down on the left side of the margin all the areas of the body, so that when it comes time to look back at it a month later, 6 months later, 3 years later, you don't have to read a Russian novel to get through it all. All you have to do is go, and you'll see in the margin on the left, oh, this was female, this was head pain, this is how she felt emotionally, and so you've got some categories all laid out for yourself. Okay. So the worst part of this kind of pain in this person is laying on the non-painful side. Interesting. I mean, this really kind of falls together logically, because if it's slightly improved or gives the person a little more comfort by laying on the painful side, then laying on the non-painful side makes the painful side worse. So it's kind of interesting. what else might this medicine, this beautiful pain relieving medicine, Colasynthes, help us with? Sciatica. It's a great medicine for sciatica. And it's particularly valuable for right-sided sciatica. Doesn't mean we can't use it for left, but if it's right-sided sciatica, it gives us a little bit more fuel for moving towards this medicine. Neuralgia. And neuralgia is kind of a generalized pain, facial neuralgia. There's neuralgia and sometimes in the legs and the feet. Colic in newborns, I said that already. Dysmenorrhea, facial neuralgia, cramps in the thighs and legs. It's an interesting one. Could be growing pains. And there are growing pains are usually in the legs, in the calves. Sometimes it's in the front of the leg. It's not always in the calf. And it is a remedy to be remembered for not just this. When you decide to learn this medicine, I'm giving you a cursory understanding of this. But if you decide that you want to know this medicine, and you ought to, then you should be reading my Materia Medica, because I do have more information. I give an example of a case. One of the first cases I dealt with this medicine, and it was excellent. It worked beautifully for this little boy, this young boy. But also go online and read Dr. James Tyler Kent, Materia Medica. When you get to his Materia Medica, you put in the word Colasynthes and start reading it. And he will have a completely different take, not completely. He'll have a slightly different take, an interestingly different take than I have on this medicine, because each author has their own experiences with it. And we can't help but relay what we know has worked for us and for him, patients, for me, clients and students. So I think we have got it. I think we could call that a wrap. Let's see if we have any questions here. Could this remedy help pain during a miscarriage? I would not think of this medicine first, although it is a possibility. Yes, it certainly is a possibility. My first thought would be arnica during miscarriages. And we talked about that. Yes, what, one more time? What's one more time? Oh, okay. Well, I'm looking at my little download that you can get. I'm looking to see if there's any. Oh, here we go. See, now I have leg cramps here, Magfos, and that is the #1 medicine. But this medicine is excellent also for leg cramps, Colasynthes. Let me see if I can find another one. Nerve pain, knee pain, gout. I'm looking at the pains that are in here. This is all going to be covered in the course, plus, of course, much, much more. Pain after surgery, soft tissue injuries. Colasynthes, not that. Menstrual pain. Here we go again. Now I've got a Banerjee protocol here for menstrual pain, but Colasynthes is really a good one too. So we've got a couple. We want more than one medicine in our toolbox for some of these conditions, because a lot of times people say, you know, that medicine just didn't work for me. Well, that means you just have to go to another one. Doesn't mean homeopathy doesn't act. It doesn't mean that you're a lost soul. It means all you have to do is dig around and find another one. Let's see if we can come up with cramping from overused hands. Cramping and overused hands. I say symphytum up here. And yes, symphytum is really great for that. But again, cramping can be Colasynthes. There's no doubt about it. Sinus headaches. No, I would not think of it for that. Ear pain during flights. Nope. Joint pain. These are all not all, some of them, as I said, some examples of what we'll be teaching in this upcoming class. So the class, by the way, is live. It'll be presented in January. If you go to that link that I told you about, we'll have it linked here too. You'll learn more about it. And then it's recorded. So even if you don't make it live, you can watch it and be a part of it forevermore. Okay, let's see some other questions here. Let's see. Cycles by Boron has Colasynthes in it, and it has helped my menstrual cramps tremendously. Everyone, see that, Laura, excellent. That's what I like folks to do. If you find a combination medicine that's made by someone like Boron, by OHM, by Hahnemann, by some of the others I mentioned earlier, Washington, then Highlands, then look on the back and read it. Look what's in there. It could be, Laura, that you simply needed Colosynthis, but it might be the belladonna. I believe probably belladonna is in there too. Pain med for neck, shoulder blade pain that radiates into the head for severe headaches. No, I do not think of, I'm sorry, Leslie, this is not the minute. I will be talking about that in the course because that's a little more complicated, but yes. Yes, Colosynthis is heaven sent. It touched a pain that no allopathic medication could even touch, said Ash. You bet. Yeah, that's exactly how this works. This is beyond, look, modern medicine has a place, and I say this all the time. For diagnostics, it's invaluable if you truly need the diagnosis. Surgery, if you truly need the surgery, excellent. You want the hands of a skilled surgeon. But when it comes to drugs, most of the drugs, I'm not saying all of them, because certainly if you have surgery, you're going to need an anesthesiologist administering anesthesia, and you bet you're going to need their conventional drugs then. But when it comes to alleviating pain, it is very, very rare that those drugs don't come with side effects. It's like the difference between Mendelssohn's symphonies. Felix Mendelssohn is my favorite, one of my favorite composers. It's the difference between Felix Mendelssohn's symphonies and, acid rock. Sorry for those who love acid rock. I'm sorry. It just was never music to my ears. The big difference, big difference. Colosynthis for terrible after pains from birth. I still think of arnica, but Colosynthis, yes, could certainly be used for after pains. Yes, thank you very much. I should have mentioned that. Yes. I joined late. Do you recommend, let's see, this over pulsatilla for menstrual cramps in teens? Well, pulsatilla is a good one if it fits, but Colosynthis is, pulsatilla is often a little bit more with the personality and other aspects of the menstruation, meaning that the period is not settled in yet. So I do like it for that as well. Colosynthis is strictly for the pain itself. Constipation in infants, not unless there's colic. Let's see. Is 200 CK the same as 200 C? Pretty much. It's close enough. It's not exact. One is the Korsakoff method, and the other one is the plain centessinal method, but they're both very, very close. So they're both good. And they are, I would call them pretty much interchangeable. What kind of headache would you use this remedy for? I don't know if I want to get into that too much. It would not be a migraine. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Vivian, huge, inoperable, painful tumor in the pelvis. Totally different thing. Yeah, we'd have to know what pelvis means. And I'd have to know a lot more about that. So painful and gallstone pain that is relieved by pressure. Yes, gallstone pain could be, yes, it could. Yes, I think this could be a good medicine for gallstone pain. Yep, especially if it's relieved or improved somewhat by pressure. There are so many remedies for so many types of pain. Got to know the remedies and the symptoms to match the best results. So glad we have great teachers like you. Thank you very much. I use belladonna for tooth pain. Amazing. Yes, you bet. Belladonna is great for tooth pain. Can you do Colosynthis and magphos for painful period? Yes, I would do that. I think we could do that. Hip pain during menstrual period. Yes, I would include that as yes. What would you use for lupus? Look, we're not covering lupus today. I don't know that we'll ever cover something like lupus in a 20-minute presentation. Kidney stone pain. Yes, and yes. I would. I'm so glad you brought up these gallstone and kidney stones. Thank you for bringing that. I don't see it as an arthritis medicine. Sorry, Ellen. Well, we've got a guy in here. Well, there's a Juan too. So there are a couple of men in here. It's nice to see some men joining in. Bell's palsy. If there's pain, Bell's palsy generally is not painful, but if there's pain, both of those are cycles as well as simicifuga. Yep, you bet. Laura's reporting. What helps hernia? I'll tell you what helps hernia. Go to Joette Calabrese hernia and read it on my blog. I've talked about it, I think twice. I give you exactly the medicine to use for hernia. I was going to have to go back and watch. You bet. Yeah, do that. Go back and watch, ladies and gents. And I think we've got it. I think we've got a wrap every Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Join me. Share this with your friends. We want this out there. Homeopathy is under scrutiny by the federal government in the United States. The only way we can protect our medicine so that we can keep it available for ourselves and our families is to turn a lot more people onto it. If each one of us, of this group of people tonight, usually there are about 200 who join live, and then we usually have, I don't know, 3,000-4,000. I can never remember by day 2 or 3. If each person told 2 people, think of how much more we could get homeopathy going. Think of how many more medicines would be sold so that the pharmacies could build a greater a posture in the arena, in the marketplace of medicines that are sold in the world and in this country. So turn people onto the blog. It's all free. They got a problem, tell them to go and give it a try. Thank you too, everyone. God bless all of you. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you. Mwah. Good night, everyone. Talk to you next week. Bye.